Okay, it's Pete.
And Norm, fresh back from that same planet from Beetlejuice.
That's a good planet.
It is.
We're the Dream Warriors, and I guess we're discussing things people just don't care about.
Damn near. There's very little on that list.
Yeah, but a lot of money spent.
So much.
Okay, let's go.
We are here.
So, what are we drinking?
I have a Duff energy drink and a Yingling because it's only Monday and it's been one of those weeks.
Yeah, it's Monday night.
Yep.
And
life has beat me down.
Yeah, I think you and I are in similar states because I'm kind of frustrated right now.
I believe it.
And more like just frazzled. And you're giving off like a similar energy.
Frazzled, definitely, but
yeah.
I'm excited. Frazzled.
Yeah, you have that youthful jubilance.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time.
No, I have not seen this in Norm in
years,
many moons.
Yeah,
and maybe we'll get into some of the personal reasons for that later or like another time. I think it would maybe fit another time.
We should get Dr. Phil for that show because it's going to be a long one.
Do we have a poor man's Dr. Phil?
We could find one.
Maybe we should just pull Kearns in and talk to him.
You think Bill Cosby needs some cash?
No, he
oh, wait, he was a gynecologist. Never mind.
Yeah, Bill Cosby doesn't need any help.
We just need a TV doctor. Can we get Frasier? I want Frasier.
Frasier is connected to the gay community.
Let's do it.
Good old Leslie.
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. I forgot his name.
You were thinking Leslie Nielsen, and he's dead.
I was thinking about Leslie Nielsen.
God rest his soul.
So what have you watched anything? Like what have you been doing?
That's a good question. I did watch something recently. Shit.
I'm in the middle of watching John Wick.
It's a good one. Dude, I do enjoy it. That's a good one.
So like, do you think that whole movie is around the nightclub scene?
To an extent.
To me, it just seems like that's the go-to point of every single one of these movies. Like,
well, I mean, it's a Russian thing. Russians either they know nightclubs or they know cars.
Yeah.
Either way, they could blow them up.
But I think it's a people often falsely criticize what they're doing with characters in movies. Like they're saying like there's not enough emotion, there's not enough character, and normally. Like a lot of these critics are missing what's already in front of their face,
right?
And I think they're sitting down with bad intentions.
Yeah, another Keanu Reeves movie. Here we go.
But I'll tell you one thing: Keanu Reeves kicks ass. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not just talking about,
and he doesn't age
in John Wick.
He doesn't age
at
all.
He is a vampire.
Like
from
Bill and Ted to that meme on Facebook where it's like the past 40 years he's still
there's
like
that one,
Keanu.
and there was the Johnny Depp one too.
I like the ones where they put Nick Cage up next to the dude from like the 1700s.
Yeah,
those are always fun.
But Nick Cage has like such an easy face, like odd, weird, but still good looking. Where you're kind of like, all right, like there's been people,
he's a hot plumber.
He is a hot plumber.
He's a hot plumber.
Yeah,
But he's that mechanic that you're like, get me greasy.
I just got into another Keanu Reeves movie called Knock Knock, directed by Eli Roth.
Okay.
And so I realized something while I was watching that movie, which is Eli Roth is almost like a teenage version of this film director named Robert Altman.
Okay.
So Robert Altman was the film editor for Citizen Kane. Worked with Orson Welles. Citizen Kane is considered the greatest movie of all time.
I've seen it.
I consider it the greatest movie of all time.
Okay.
Just for the layers. Like it's such a dynamic movie. Anyone that hasn't watched it should watch it. I don't care if you're like only into one type of movie. This is a type of storytelling you should be aware of. It's the same as like, people are like, oh, I could never sit through Shakespeare. Well, you should maybe try and sit through Macbeth or Othello or Hamlet. You should really put that experience into your life somewhere, just as a reference point. Like worst case scenario. So
Everyone else references it. Why not you?
So Orson Welles was 25 when he directed Citizen Kane. Robert Altman was his editor. Robert Altman went to, he basically, I might be getting the Robert Wise. I'm thinking of. Sorry, not Robert Altman.
Okay.
Robert Wise was the editor for Citizen Kane. Robert Wise essentially directed one great movie in every genre: science fiction, horror, comedy. Okay, and he had he's a little bit like Ang Lee, who directed the Hulk movie. Ang Lee has one good movie in almost every genre. Okay, Eli Roth is almost like the teenage version of this type of film career. Quentin Tarantino very close to where Quentin Tarantino is just moving through his loves and putting his spin on every single gangster, B-movie horror,
Kung Fu flick.
Kung Fu.
Western,
yeah. WW2. Okay, and Eli is this teenage fantasy version of this. And Knock Knock is the fantasy version of two super hot girls coming to your house on a rainy night wanting to have a threesome. And it all goes downhill from that point.
It always goes downhill when they show up in the night.
Because they got into the nitty gritty so quick in that movie. I'm like, where's this going to go? I was just on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, but the girls are so attractive. And there was a time where I would watch a movie like Knock Knock and be like, it's about the story, it's about the characters, it's about the intent of the filmmaker. What type of lighting are they using? Where are the lights in this?
Well, it's an Eli Roth movie, so the intent is right in front of your face.
Yes.
He's not known for deep films.
He's not, but he has a love of film. Okay? And if you do go into the Green Inferno, if you go into Hostel, Cabin Fever?
Yes.
Cabin Fever. I almost said Cabin by the Lake, but that was a different movie.
Yes, and then there's Cabin in the Woods, which is also a different movie.
Yeah, and Cabin in the Woods is solid.
It is.
That's a solid flick.
I love that flick.
Yeah. So you look at his career. He's produced, acted. He was in he was Aftershock or Earthquake.
Okay.
He was an actor in that, and he produced it, but it's still kind of it's a earthquake survival horror movie, or thriller, you could say. But he has that type of career already.
Oh,
where
yeah.
He's just experimenting with form. He's experimenting with genre. He's experimenting with who he does these movies with. Keanu Reeves is phenomenal in this movie. So I guess a lot of my take and my positioning is always why do people say these things? Are they true? So what's one of the things you always hear about Keanu Reeves? He's stupid. He says one line.
He's flat. He's plain.
Yeah, he can only play a pothead or a pothead type dude. And
everyone tells him to just look lost. You'll be fine.
Right. and you look through the movies he's making post Matrix, which are diverse,
right,
experimental, and he always arrives. It seems like his career, beat is he will always arrive to a Bill and Ted's, a Point Break, a Matrix, and now a John Wick.
Right.
So, what's he doing wrong?
I don't know.
Right?
I can't complain.
I would almost put Knock Knock in there too. But I already feel like that movie is forgotten. That movie's it's already done. Which is horrible. But you can watch it for free on Amazon Prime. And I was so excited. It was because someone mentioned it. And It just popped into my head when I was sitting down, and I'm like, oh, let me see if it's like, you do the search, and it's like KN, and Amazon populates the rest for you, and you just see it, and you're like, yes, you get like so excited.
They got it. I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's just like that juice. It's like, oh yeah. So I added it to my watch list, and we got a little potential snowed in a couple days ago again in Philly. So instead of like making plans and just maybe having someone come over to watch movies or doing anything like that, I was like, let me just have a solo night, and that was on my watch list, so I went right to it. But if you consider Keanu, he's got 4 influential movies now.
Mm-hmm. And a couple more than that. I just have to think.
Well, he was also good in some movies, like Bram Stoker's Dracula. A baseball movie called Hardball.
Right. T-Baby.
Yeah.
T-Baby.
Which is good. He does good work.
Mm-hmm.
And he's consistent. And he is one of those guys that doesn't fight for like market share, like his market share in the economy of the movie. Meaning that he has to work for scale for some of these movies, and he's happy doing that.
Right.
He notoriously bought all the, I think the stuntmen and some of the special effects guys, either like Kawasaki Ninjas or like Harley Davidsons or Ducatis. He bought motorcycles for the Matrix.
Okay.
Like just saying thank you because they were a huge part of what that movie is, and it's beyond me why he gets the type of rap he does for essentially the same reason why people bash Michael Bay. Like they want to talk on a high horse, but if you look at the numbers, like Keanu Reeves' contemporaries, like if you compare it to like Lost Boys, like let's just say like Bill and Ted's existed around the same time as Lost Boys, and you go through everyone that was in the Lost Boys. If Kiefer Sutherland wasn't in 24, no one from that movie would have kind of carried on.
Right.
No one else inside Bill and Ted's carried on. Right?
Right.
So like you compare, that's the level I compare it to. And you're like, holy crap, he has outlasted his contemporaries.
Jason Patrick kind of went on.
Jason Patrick went on, but what like he still has a career. So does Kiefer Sutherland. So does most people in that movie.
Right.
But they're not impactful.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, and that's why when we talk about Keanu Reeves, we always have like a 4-headed dragon now.
Right.
Like it's just amazing, and Bill, Bill Esquire, Bill Preston Esquire, is not John Wick, and John Wick is not Neo from the Matrix, and Neo from the Matrix is not any of these other roles. Like he no one's Johnny Utah. Utah is a separate, like very different character.
Right.
Like he is a fire plug as a cop. So that's a lot of where I go. Like when I watch movies, because like it's so hard to sit down and watch anything that doesn't have a built-in criticism, like a built-in mental like take and a structure. Like it's almost like your mind has already formed of what that movie is before you see it, and it's very tough. Like, and I just feel like we're maybe in an age where there's going to be blowback from that. Like there's going to be rebellion, because people do not like to be taken to school on things for too long, and they don't like being taken to school and told that Suicide Squad sucks and is horrible. And the box office says completely the opposite.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I don't know if you have any actors or movies that are maybe like I don't know, like got beat up for no reason.
I'd have to think about it.
You have to think.
There's
about
plenty of actors though. I mean, everyone goes through that. That's
Well, people act like acting's like an easy thing.
Right. I mean, George Clooney got tore apart for Batman. Like, you only got the script in front of you to work with, and the director telling you what to do.
Yeah.
That's
It's
your. I mean, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have signed the contract to agree to do it, but beyond that, it's no fault of your own.
How does he know how that movie's going to turn out?
Exactly. But people still George Clooney, the worst Batman. Yeah. Like that's not a fair assessment.
It's not. It's not at all. And
same thing with Chris O'Donnell. Like he was a fine Nightwing. He's not Robin. He's too old.
I actually thought he was the best movie Robin will ever see, and I still think that. I really don't think they're going to top that because he's young, sexy, good looking, in shape, looks like he can run with
Batman.
And
still hold his own in the fight.
Yeah, and and I'm like, God, and I remember when that happened, when they announced him as Robin, and you saw some of the the promo pictures, and I think at that time, usually the first thing you saw was the whatever came out in McDonald's.
Okay.
Because McDonald's had the license, and they, McDonald's used to do amazing promos.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and you would get these cups and placemats, and I remember seeing them and I was younger, and I don't know, not so much jaded, but I really didn't care. And to me, I was like, wow, I was like, that is such a cooler Robin than they ever did in the comics. And that was something that stuck with me. It's like realizing that, because usually the movies on this type of thread, and we'll talk a little bit of the Marvel movies in a little bit, but the Marvel movies usually make the comics better. It's not the other way around.
Right.
The Marvel movies kind of make some of the comics tolerable because in all amazing effort gets put into comics. But when it comes to month to month, it's really hard to fill attention spans, I feel like.
No, that makes sense.
But you have genius runs like Hickman's Fantastic Four, stuff like that. Like modern day stuff that are just month after month, or it's like an onslaught. But at the same time, I also feel like that's the genius of the art form, which is comics shouldn't make any sense.
It's true. You don't read them for sense. You read them for adventure.
Yeah, it's just this it is disposable entertainment. It's supposed to be thrown away. I wish they would return a little bit to that. Everything is so realistic,
serious and grounded.
Yeah, and it just takes away, I feel like. But we had a couple things we wanted to discuss, right? Let's see, we have a list here. What was the trailer you saw?
Valerian,
the city of 1,000 planets.
Thank you. It's going to take a while to get used to that title.
Yes.
Never heard of the book. Apparently, it's based on a graphic novel.
French, I believe it's a French graphic novel.
All right, the last one I tracked down cost me a lot of money.
Did it really?
French graphic novel, yeah.
Which one?
The Immortal Nicopole trilogy.
Oh,
I picked that up. Well, I actually say it was a bargain. Yeah. I ended up paying $60, and that's like a $400 book.
Yeah.
So
I just picked up the Inkle.
Okay.
Which is Jodorowsky's and Mobius's comic, and they were the guys that were behind the original Dune movie.
Okay.
There's a documentary on it, and the Inkle was part of his path of putting all these unused ideas for Dune into comic book form. Okay, again, you never know where you're going to end up sometimes. This guy came in as a film director and made some incredible comics, and also had incredible collaborators. But at the same time, his voice is so clear in a lot of these comics. I love it. But and that was the first comic I bought in a long time. I just bought that on a bookstore binge. I just throw it into the pile. Spent a few $100s. I didn't even care. I just said Inkle. I looked it up on Amazon. It was the same price. I said fine.
Okay.
I can go home with it here. But so Valerian, where are you with that? You excited?
Visually, the movie looks great. I don't know much about the story.
Do you have to?
I don't think so. I mean, if it's going to be eye candy. I mean, if they're supposed to try and sell me on something, I'm a little confused.
Well, it's kind of but that's the intent of trailers, right?
To an extent.
It's to whet your appetite. Tell you what it is.
No, it definitely got me curious.
Yeah. And do you think that's a little bit because there's been a while since a movie like that has been in the forefront? Outside of
Well,
our
all the
most
recent space movies that have hit, they're all very realistic, grounded in reality, as opposed to Guardians, which was probably the last great out there space epic.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What about
any movie that deals with mystical or fantasy style space, more sci-fi than just science fact, maybe?
Yeah.
That always gets me excited.
What about the Wachowskis' Jupiter?
I was excited for that.
Yeah.
I worked at the movie theater when that one hit.
Okay.
And everyone's face is coming out just kind of. Same thing with Cloud Atlas. I was pumped for that one. And both of those, I never got around to seeing. I heard nothing but bad things.
I think Cloud Atlas is a once in a lifetime.
By far.
Once in a generation movie. I think it is I think it's one of those movies that's way beyond what people give it credit for.
That's along with that Boyhood or Childhood movie.
Oh, Boyhood. Yeah.
The one that they filmed for 18 years.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
Me neither, but it's still amazing that they took the time to all right, you're 6 now, it's time to record. You're 12 now, get to set.
I just think part of my rejection for that movie is that people immediately gave it adulation because of the way that they filmed it, and little people spoke about the actual content, which made me believe that there's little content to speak of.
Makes sense.
But it's easy to say this movie's great because of that.
I didn't say it was great. I said once in a lifetime. Because
Yeah.
I don't think many people have that kind of dedication to spend 10 years making their movie.
Yeah, so
aside from James Cameron.
the Wachowskis, it was Jupiter Ascending.
Right.
Yeah, so Jupiter Ascending, I think...
Well, that's the space one.
Yeah.
We were touching on Cloud Atlas, too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were done with that.
Oh, yeah, we're done with it. Yeah,
Okay.
Just go see Cloud Atlas.
I'll get around to it. HBO gets it all the time.
Yeah,
so.
just give it time. Give
I've seen bits and pieces when HBO was running it. I just never sat down for the 3.5 hours to go.
You just have to give that movie time. But yeah, so when it comes to Valerian City of a Thousand Planets, we are talking about Luc Besson, who directed Fifth Element.
Right.
One of
my great space epics.
It's probably easily top of the space epics. It's such an awesome movie, such a unique flavor, weird, but works.
It's got a heavy Star Wars feel to it, it could fit in that universe, but it's not at all trying to be
Star
that
Wars
universe.
prequels. Yeah, it's
almost.
It's kind of funny how that came out before the prequels, and how much of the prequels feel like Fifth Element, just even visually and this was the time too when he made that movie, no one knew there was ever going to be a Star Wars ever again.
Right.
So this was part of that filling that void. Which you did see a little bit of that between episodes 3 and episode 7 in Star Wars.
Okay.
Where people tried to fill that void.
Right.
Guardians being one of them. Okay.
Which totally did.
Yeah.
Warms my heart.
Yeah, you don't need Star Wars if you just want to watch Guardians. And I really feel like that. I hope he continues with those movies. I hope James Gunn has a long-term vision that they are going to let him unravel, just kind of play with.
Do I have any news on the new one?
I don't know. You wanted to go through some Marvel Phase 4.
Some I do a little bit actually. Yeah, no, apparently some rumors have leaked about Phase 4.
Okay.
And these guys were right with a good chunk from Phase 3. So these are potential.
So these are potential spoilers.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
but nothing too major. For instance, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Apparently, Laura Haddock is coming back as Meredith Quill, Star-Lord's mom. Probably flashbacks. Sylvester Stallone is being credited as the Chief Centurion, which would explain the Judge Dredd outfit.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Interesting.
And Sharon Stone is credited as Balthak.
I'm not familiar.
Sounds like ballsack.
Yeah, it does sound like ball sack.
It's getting me feeling kind of ways.
Yeah. So she would be part of the Cosmic Warrior, I think. I'm not sure who that is.
Me neither.
That's got to be a character. That's got to be someone.
So Spider-Man Homecoming may have 2 shockers, according to this.
Okay.
We have Logan Marshall Green is credited as Bryce, shocker number 1, and Bookham Woodbine is credited as Schultz, shocker number 2.
Ah.
So I'm not sure how that's going to break down. Donald Glover's credited as Pharrell. Ty Daly is Hogue. There's Porter and Bollinger, Goon number 2.
Okay.
So just some background people, nothing major.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
One of the big ones. All right, so Zachary Levi's coming back as Fandral.
Okay.
For Thor Ragnarok. These are all Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, yeah.
Sam Neill is credited as the traitor, whoever that is, whatever he does.
Okay.
So, and Josh Brolin is apparently appearing as Thanos in that movie. So this one probably will be the one that starts to bridge and get the ball rolling.
I already assumed that with everything that was coming out already. I think that's an easy assumption, especially with the how Doctor Strange added Thor into Doctor Strange mythology that quickly.
Right.
Yeah, like at that post-credit intro credit sequence. What else do we have?
All right. Apparently, well, we know Andy Serkis is coming back for Black Panther. We're on to Black Panther now, by the way.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing here is apparently William Hurt is coming back as Secretary Thaddeus Ross.
Ah, very cool.
So,
okay.
Avengers 3 and 4 are allegedly going to film back-to-back. So all the news is going to leak congruently for those. The main thing that comes out of this are apparently Natalie Portman and Gwyneth Paltrow are going to cameo.
Are they? I thought
to where
they kept saying they were done.
Well,
they've been saying that 2 of them have been done for quite
the plan is for all notable characters involved in previous movies to make special appearances, including characters such as Pepper Potts and Jane Porter, whose actors fulfilled the original contracts. The arrangement is for these cameos to be done out of goodwill without requiring renegotiations of new contracts. So it won't lock them into anything.
Good. That's good. No, that's good.
The side characters that are being rumored for this are Peggy Carter, Thaddeus Ross, Mara Hill, Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, Quicksilver, Wong, Zuri, Loki, and Odin.
Why is Quicksilver in that?
I don't know. Flashbacks, maybe, dream sequences, but there's more. Eva Green is in final talks to play Lady Death, apparently. Casting is underway for Edtree, the creator of the Infinity Gauntlet, and apparently that's what Peter Dinklage is in negotiation for.
He is Pimp the Troll, possibly.
That's
what they're thinking. But
this has him as the Dwarf King that forges the gauntlet.
Interesting.
So, casting is underway right now. Corvus, Thanos' right-hand man. Nox, a loyal follower of Thanos. He went by Black Dwarf in the comics.
Yes.
So they changed his name for racial reasons, I'm assuming. We have Ican, loyal follower of Thanos. In the comics, he was Supergiant. Proxima, a loyal follower. Ebony, a loyal follower. And that is all of the news we have.
Okay, so this is just
casting leaks, pretty much.
Yeah, but it confirms so much on how this connective tissue is actually getting closer, like to where everything is collectively growing towards Infinity Gauntlet.
Right
Thanos,
at this point, yeah.
To where like
the ball was rolling.
Like you can almost say, like through Phase 4, there's going to be like the ending of, like through Phase 4 is almost going to be the ending of an era, where they'll have like a post Infinity Gauntlet, post Phase 4 era.
Well, I'm almost imagining that at the end of that, whether the day gets saved or not, because we don't know, because in Doctor Strange they tease those alternate realities, maybe it'll shift to Marvel Cinematic Universe 616.
Yeah,
since this one's clearly like the ultimate.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is a little bit odd. what they did with the idea of the multiverse and these other dimensions, because it doesn't really, like his time gem should not work in any other dimension than his dimension. Yeah, but with that being said, not a big deal. Just watch that thought out. So this just nothing but breeds excitement for the insiders and the core audience for the Marvel movies.
Right.
So you can kind of say even these leaks confirm the potential of a huge master stroke, a huge organizing effort,
yes,
a huge, like focus effort for Marvel. That's paying off.
Oh yeah.
So
it's going on, what, 10, 15 years since they started this?
Yeah.
It's almost a 20-year story.
Yeah, it's almost
damn
going to
near.
be almost a 20-movie story, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It's going to beat that out, I guarantee.
So, with that being said, we were going to talk about Blade Runner, but essentially, you were saying you don't care about Blade Runner.
Not particularly.
You're not really into that movie.
I mean, the first one's okay. I just...
Yeah.
Why?
But not...
Why?
Why does it exist, or why does it get adulation?
No. It deserves the... It's a good movie. Yeah. It is. Like, it's definitely a great sci-fi flick.
Yeah.
Not necessarily my cup of tea.
Right.
But it's same thing with Citizen Kane. I can appreciate why that movie is considered number one on all the lists. Like, for the time and everything. Like, it was revolutionary.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. It just... Leave it alone. It's done. Come up, like...
Yeah.
Quit piggyback. That would be like me going and saying, I want to make the last Starfighter 2 because the groundwork is laid.
Or...
It was a fun universe. I want to play in it now.
Or you just call it the last Starfighters. So, yeah.
Or like, I want to make a Mortal Kombat movie, but it's going to be a direct follow-up to Annihilation, and I'm bringing the cast back.
Yeah.
Like,
or I'm going to make a Mortal Kombat sequel, and I'm going to make it a sequel to Annihilation, but act like the first one never happened. It's just like, wait, what?
James Remar's coming back, everyone.
Yeah.
Smoke God.
Yeah. So do you feel like that there's already, like, that the journey for Blade Runner is lost before its fault, just because this is a movie that, like, it's almost like the geeks wanted the sequel. They felt like there should be a sequel. They felt like there should be, like, some type of update. And this is, like, another delivery of that fever that's not going to pay off.
It's not. It's not going to pay off at all. I mean, like, it just...
Do you think the...
it's unnecessary.
Do you think Ryan Gosling
it's unoriginal.
has anything to do with it? Do you think he's...
No. I think if anything,
with those types of movies?
No, but he kind of is. I mean, like, Drive, he plays a badass.
Yeah.
Like, American Gangster, he's like... He could do the detective role. Well, like, that's not...
I don't think... Yeah, but he's usually in these intellectual small movies.
More than...
And I will go... Like, I will say, like, I feel like he is the actor of this generation.
Fair enough.
Next to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
Those are your top two actors of this generation. They both pick movies in similar ways. They're both eclectic in similar ways in the roles that they're choosing. And they're in consistently as many good movies as anyone else. Like,
fair enough.
I think more than anyone between the two of them. Like, again, how you not get nominated for Nightcrawler, I don't effing know. How you not get nominated for Drive, or even like Beyond the Pines.
Don't even get me started. Like, don't even get me started on the Oscars anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about The Revenant.
Yeah.
I am. I finally sat down and watched that movie.
Because it was a straight up survival movie.
It's not even that.
It has a little nuance.
It's the fact that Leo got the Oscar for that one. Like, he should have got it for Gangs of New York. He should have got it for The Departed.
I think he should have got it. Actually, I think he should have got it for Wolf of Wall Street.
That one too. Like, those are three great movies, and like, it just felt like they gave it to him to shut him the fuck up.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
You should have gave it to him for one that he actually deserved it for.
Well,
Not
look at all the movies Martin Scorsese did not.
right. Oh yeah, that's another. Like, what was his first one for? The Departed, right? That was his first Oscar.
Yeah, and you're just like man.
You got Goodfellas, you got Casino.
Yeah. It's almost like you can kind of.
I almost want to pull up that Oscar list and see what beat him out those years, but I'm not that curious.
Well, the other similar argument too, just getting on this real quick, is John Williams, who's been nominated 50 times.
Oh, I believe it.
Sometimes he's been nominated multiple years because he would do like. Memoirs of a Geisha, and then maybe like Schindler's List, and get nominated for
both of them.
Yeah,
right.
And his wins are earlier wins. Okay, like in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
So you're like, we're in 2017 now, and you only have like maybe 4 or 5 Oscar wins. You've been nominated 50 times, and it's from before people knew you were John Williams.
Right.
And once he became John Williams,
no one cared. They expected it from him.
Yeah.
Like,
it's really weird. Really weird.
Well, I mean, I'll stand, and we've had this discussion before off air, but I'll stand by Danny Elfman should have won one by now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, he should probably, geez.
So not even counting the TV stuff, like Tales from the Crypt and The Simpsons, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, give him an honorary one. The man's tune is in
I don't know if he has.
ear.
I think he has Grammys. I think he might have a Grammy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I believe. Well,
think
think about the royalty checks on that.
Yeah.
Every time FX just plays that night to day, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents. I wonder if that's why they started cutting out the theme song in those middle years for a little bit.
Look, but they play it throughout the entire theme park.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people want to act like this money that's required to do these things shouldn't like happen. Like, things are always cheaper than what they are, and things are usually always the price that they should be.
Right.
For stuff like that. And could Fox ever get away with doing a new theme?
Maybe.
Someone else? Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so, right? But, like, what would that do to the product?
Right. Well, that would be like, I couldn't imagine watching Tales from the Crypt without that.
I think it would be similar to like when Coca-Cola changed their drink recipe and created Coke Classic, which was a huge disaster.
Right.
Or when Pepsi tried to rebrand themselves with Pepsi Clear, and it was like it wasn't even the taste as much as it was like the visual.
Right.
People rejected the visual notion of clear Pepsi.
I believe it.
Which is kind of funny because they'll drink Sprite.
Yeah, well, that's lemon lime. I'm expecting that. Right. I don't know what the hell Pepsi is.
Yeah. So
what is Pepsi? Can someone out there tell me what Pepsi is, please?
So it's sugar flavored water. So getting
well, then what's Coke?
Sugar flavored water.
Well, what's the difference?
There's
there's a difference. Don't even go there.
Yeah, there is.
I'm a Coke guy.
I think I'm a Pepsi guy.
I like Santa too much to not like Coke.
I just like Pepsi usually has better looking like design work. Like, I like the logo, I like the fonts sometimes. I think the typography and the placement of the cans. There's a lot going on there. I think Coke is really riding on
the name,
like nostalgia. And it's fine, whatever. Like,
it works.
If you're gonna poison your body, poison it through nostalgia.
Hey, I do it every day.
Yeah.
I still have icy ecto cooler coming out of my ears.
Yeah, coming out of it. You're looking at mine right now.
I will be back.
Yeah. Oh, what are we doing? You gotta. Oh, Norm's gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm going to set up what we're going to discuss. So while Norm is going to the men's room, we're just going to go through Blade Runner real quick. So there's 4 movies of this movie. Mark in episode 10 previously mentioned that sometimes he doesn't know which version he has watched or not watched, and Blade Runner is, in my opinion, easily a top 10 science fiction movie. Visually, it's maybe top 1, 2, or 3. You maybe put 2001 and The Matrix next to it, but Blade Runner never really caught on. The cinephiles, the people who want to get up on their high horse and write about, blog about, YouTube about movies, they put this attention on Blade Runner, and this is a part of the wave that that Hollywood feels like there's a need and they must fill it for a upcoming sequel or a reboot. And essentially, what Norm and I were discussing, and we both feel this way, is that Blade Runner is a waste. Right?
Yes.
Blade Runner is a waste of money.
Yes.
While I'm leading into our focus topic, can you look up the budget for Blade Runner 2?
Surely. For 2.
Number 2.
Okie doke.
I want to say it's going to be between 160 and 180.
Okay. I would go so far as to say it's probably up to 200.
I think it's up to 200.
Yeah.
And then with marketing, 300 total. Norm's looking, everyone. Norm's looking.
Well, this headline says Blade Runner 2049 will be one of the most expensive R-rated independent films ever made.
Okay.
And it might just get another sequel, according to these guys.
Well, everything gets a sequel today if it makes money, right?
It doesn't mean it's going to make money.
That's true.
You know, I've actually heard rumor from this that they might bring back Rooker Howell and de-age him.
But he dies.
Yeah, but he's a robot. There's 100 models of him running around.
Oh, that's true.
He just went rogue.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to it now. Let's see here.
Oh, wow. Jared Leto's in this.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Damn.
All right. I can't get the... we all know the budget.
Nope. It's not out yet.
Wow. Interesting. That's a little funny.
And it's also being dumped in January, which I've learned is no bueno for movies.
Yeah, unless they're trying to create a January market.
I mean, it's possible. It's always possible.
It is.
But...
It is. You know, remember, like, there were times, like, some of these holidays weren't focal points for film releases until they became focal point for film releases. And then people were like, well, great, well, people are willing to see a movie on this particular day, this particular weekend. And, you know, and, like, almost like an industry of a week, you know, gets into Hollywood, like, business.
Right.
Where, like, people will try and release movies before and after and catch waves and counter waves, meaning, yeah, you're releasing Blade Runner. Let's do a kids movie. Let's balance it out. And sometimes both of those movies do well.
Right.
So, all right. So, Blade Runner, potential big waste.
Right.
Just because it's just not very interesting.
No.
Just off of a conversational standpoint, the trailer, like, you saw the trailer, right?
Yeah, that one I did see the trailer.
I thought the trailer was garbage.
Yeah, there's nothing on it. Looks boring.
Complete garbage.
The movie just looks boring.
So, leading into our topic of topics, our thumbnail,
Yes.
which I still have to do. But
Fair enough.
the thumbnail will be Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And you and I had a quick discussion on this
Right.
a couple of days ago. Yesterday. 2 days ago. Yesterday. Okay. And it was
a short discussion.
There
wasn't much to talk about.
Yeah, but it was kind of like, let's pick Norm's brain and maybe dissect why he's not interested in Wonder Woman.
Right.
And does this mean most people are not interested in Wonder Woman
It's possible.
as a movie? Like, do you know anyone that was excited for Batman vs Superman that Wonder Woman was in the movie?
I don't know many people that were excited for Batman versus Superman.
Just because the premise was just so stupid.
That, the casting choices, I know my boss is one of the biggest Batman fans that I know.
You mentioned him before.
He said as soon as he saw Batman holding the gun, he was out. And we both know that gun, well, aside from like the actual guns he uses in the movie, but that particular one's like an EMP gun, or it's the kryptonite gas shooter.
Yeah,
like it's not, but like that was the immediate like, no, he would have a battery. Like Batman doesn't do guns. Like,
well, that's not entirely true.
Well,
like even going back to the comics.
Well, yeah, in the original, he was the detective with the gun.
Not entirely true. Batman the Colt, he uses a gun. Batman, Night of the Beast with the KG Beast. Mm-hmm. Okay, uses it. Like he's used guns before.
Fair enough.
Now, does that mean the character shouldn't be portrayed a certain way to film that people want. Yes. Meaning that, like, hey, Superman should not have a muscle shirt on.
Right.
Like, Superman needs sleeves. People want that. We know this is accepted. Let's not F with that. So yes, I am with your boss on that notion. But at the same time, they do simulate guns with the grappling hooks.
Well, yeah, but he's never like shooting someone. Like in that, there's points where he just takes a bad guy's gun and like he blows up like a car with people in it.
Oh, he tosses the car on top of another car,
like that,
and crushes
losing
dudes.
that Robin fucked that Batman up in the head.
Yeah,
like he is a sick puppy,
and that's all they need.
Which I appreciate. Like I like the Batman in that. It's more the Superman that. The more and more I think about it, the more like my biggest problem, which you brought up, actually, it's the great point. Like they're just out of their time anymore, and Wonder Woman's the same problem for me. Do you look back at the Linda Carter stuff? I'd never knock it. Like she was a staple in feminism times, and
she was hot as hell.
She was
hot.
Yeah,
she was too hot to trot.
Well, that's one of my other major problems with it. Like
you don't like Gal Gadot.
I just feel like going with a supermodel for the sake of her looking good. Like, I almost feel like you could have cast an actress who's almost just as Wonder Woman looking and driven who has chops.
Yeah.
Like, what has Gail got it done besides...
Face and Furious.
Really?
Yeah, she was in Phase 6.
Okay.
Maybe 5 and 6.
I haven't made a piss, too.
Okay. Yeah, you keep saying it. Which is weird because it's one of the best franchises.
I was never a big car guy. And now I work with them. It's the damnedest thing.
But I'll tell you one thing. It's so beyond the car movie at this point.
Well, that's when you sold me on it.
And you have to stick with it. And now it's becoming a spy versus spy movie with this new one, with 8. It's really it's interesting. Okay, I think the premise for the new one has failed.
Okay.
Because it is Vin Diesel going rogue and going against his team.
Right. I've been hearing that.
Okay.
And people are not happy.
Yeah. I think they don't want that.
And he's doing it for Paul Walker's character, right?
I don't know what the reason is.
Okay.
Maybe.
I thought I heard somewhere that like it was his absence that he
what if Charlize Theron plays a transgender Paul Walker character? he went like Kyle Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner. That
would be some shit.
He went Bruce Jenner in the Face and Furious universe.
That would be some shit. Well, damn it, Tom! I've always wanted to wear this bra.
Yeah. Now I feel like myself again.
Do we know who she's playing?
She's.
There's no chance she's like Paul Walker's sister coming in.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't know too much about the movie.
Okay.
But I love the movie so much. Like I will watch. Like I just want to watch this one. Like I don't. Face and Fury, like it's almost like it's such an interesting franchise because no one really cares about spoilers. No one really cares about leaks. They barely get the plot premise. Okay, but there's a fever to see these movies. There's like this excitement about them because the movies are that, and people are like saying, "Hey, I can go out tonight or go see this movie." Get excited too. And it's a certain level of an experience. It's almost like when you're really into music or like a album and you go see the concert from that tour.
Right.
That is that album. Like you get so excited because you know the product you're going to get. You're just getting it in like a different form.
Right.
So, and I think that's a little bit of the rejection of the plot for Furious 8. Is people are rejecting this notion that Vin Diesel's character
would go rogue like that. Because his whole thing for 7 movies is family. And I know that from the first one.
Yeah. And now there's like a hook, right? There's got to be a hook. It's tough.
Isn't it like Fate of the 8?
It might be Fate of the 8. Yeah.
I think I heard that somewhere.
Or is it like Fate 8?
It could
like
be.
Fate 8.
F-E-E.
I love it when people call the new Fantastic Four Faint Four Stick. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so outside of Superman, whose time has come and gone. Okay. DC has maintained relevance in breathing life into the TV side.
Right.
Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And
successfully.
Flash.
Right.
Now we have
even Legends is coming around.
Legends, yeah.
And Gotham is good.
Gotham, Legends,
mm-hmm.
Supergirl.
Right.
Do you think this should be their primary business? You think they should get out of the film business?
I think they should have took a note from the writers of those shows and maybe watched what they were doing a little closer.
And bring them to the party?
Yeah, why not?
Because you kind of maybe already
I mean, at that point, you already have contracts locked in. You sign them to a 2-movie deal and 3 more seasons. And you have... You do tie-ins at that point, but the tie-ins in the way that the first X-Files movie did it. You could go into this movie, and it's a sci-fi movie that you're checking out, and it is what it is. Or you could have the 4 years of mythos going into it, and you're like, oh, that's... Smoking Man's here. What's up?
Like, at that point, though, in my view, the movie was a complete disaster. Because I was really into X-Files. Because it not only... Like, it was... I think X-Files and ER were like the 2 best shows on television.
Oh, yeah. I watched all of ER.
Outside of Thursday comedy for NBC or CBS. Whatever's Channel 10. NBC. Okay.
10 in New Jersey.
Yeah.
God knows 10. What it is where you are.
It's national.
Is it?
It should be national.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, 3, 6, and 10 are national channels.
I know, like, Fox was 9, and then it was 13 when we were in Florida.
It's syndicated. It's not a national broadcast.
Oh, okay.
But it's a nationally broadcasted
network.
Right. But it's not I think by law it's 3, 6, and 10. I think those are locked in by law. I don't think you can which is interesting, right? Yeah, like incentivize people not to fail by guaranteeing that the station can't go away. Okay, so the failure a little bit to me of the X-Files movie was that it didn't build in. I thought they were going to reveal Mulder and his sister and the aliens. That was all the articles I would read, because that's what you read. Entertainment Weekly, Premiere Magazine, sometimes Famed Agora, sometimes Comic Scenes. You only had a few outlets. But it was really Mulder and his sister.
Right.
That's what got him into all of it. That the movie was like, people like, that was like the big idea. Like, we're going to do a movie with this type of reveal. And then I don't even remember, what is the plot of the X-Files movie?
It's the black liquid. They're finally onto it, and
from Prometheus.
Damn near. Well, I mean, it opens up with the Neanderthal killing the alien, and then the blood freezing. So I mean, and then it takes over the kid, little Stevie down in the hole.
So
and then you find out that they've been turning it into vaccines and giving it to bees, and if you get stung by one of these bees, you're going to gestate into an alien. They're taking over.
Yeah.
The sister reveal comes in season 6 after the movie.
Yeah, which is, at that point, it was almost mute because the show was trailing off at that point, right? And was it so? And then season 7 and 8 were
where he came in and out of 7.
Mulder, not Scully.
Scully was in it. She was always kind of constant.
Okay, but then you had the Terminator guy.
Yeah, Dangle or whatever.
See, that's where I lost the show.
Yeah, see, I
lost it.
I watched up until 8 on Netflix, and I watched the revival. Which,
well, how was it?
I think they killed them off.
What?
Yeah. I mean, they leave it ambiguous, but in the first episode, a car pulls up, and the beam comes down on it, like a tracker beam, and it blows up the car.
Wait, what?
Yeah. There's like a car. There's a car driving down a lonely road. And this waitress woman is in the car, and she's driving fast and frantic and looking back, and she's all scared.
Because the aliens are chasing her.
And like the car stalls out, or she stops, and like the tracker beam comes on, and she's looking out the window thinking she's going to get pulled up, and the car just explodes. And this happens like 2 other times in the series, to where you find out that the government is in control of these, and that's how they eliminate people that like know too much or get in the way or what have you. And the very last scene of the last episode is this light shines on Mulder and Scully's car, and it ends. So,
jeez.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come on.
And then they were iffy on doing a season 11 back and forth, but I think I just saw it's like confirmed to be happening.
How many episodes was there?
It was 6.
Oh, okay, so it was just...
And it was 2 Mythos episodes, the first and the last.
So it was almost like a mini-series.
Yeah. And the 4 episodes between 1 and 6 had they were all standalone Monster of the Week.
It's good that they retested the... But at that point, though, like, what are you doing that Supernatural hasn't been doing now for, what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Like,
renewed for like another 1 or 2 seasons.
Right? I never watched a lick of that show.
I watched the first episode while I was avidly watching X-Files on Netflix. And first of all, they reference X-Files in that very first episode. He's like, "You're Mulder, I'm Scully. Now shut up. I gotta talk to this cop."
Is this when you were partying? Were you just partying?
All the time.
I'm watching 2 TV shows at once. I'm partying.
You know it. And I was like, these are too similar. I can't. One's aliens, one's demons, but it's the procedural. Like, this is all going to start blending together in my head, and I had to focus on one.
Let's get back to DC.
Okay. Do we have to?
Yeah. What can they do to get someone like you? And I think you represent more of the audience than myself. What can they do to get you excited about Wonder Woman?
Stop trying to shove her down the old throat. Like, just add her into the movies. Like, do like Hulk. You learned the Hulk standalone movie's not going to work. So instead of trying to do Planet Hulk as a sequel and wasting one of your movie slots, you're tying it into a Thor movie, which people always consider Thor to be one of the weakers in all the Marvel movies anyway. Right. So now you've made this one almost as anticipated for me as Guardians 2, if not a little bit more. No, especially with Doctor Strange being in there.
The hell with it, dude. Guardians 2. To me, like, my focus is Guardians 2, Episode 8.
Fair enough.
That is it. I'm not even sure what else even happens.
I'm heavily debating getting a rib tattoo of Baby Groot running away with the detonator.
I am Groot.
have one of my nipples be one of the O's in Groot. Just a long explanation point word bubble.
You should have him running down your back as if he's running into your butthole, like he's running into the tunnel, like he's running in your ass.
That's a good one. I'll have to consider that.
Tweet that to me, everyone. if someone out there does it, AKAPAD on Twitter, AKAPAD.
You gotta beat me to it.
All right, so the one woman trailer did what for you?
Nothing. It made me say, "Wow." To make this character successful, you literally have to rip off Captain America. It looks like Captain America, the first of it, down to her having the shield.
Yeah. So
like, it's just so. She even has the Howling Commandos behind her. We got the guy from Alien. We got the Vietnamese guy. We have the pretty boy protector who's going to be the protectee. Like, it just.
So are you more excited for her to be in Justice League than you are seeing a Wonder Woman movie?
Definitely.
Because Justice League, you're going to get a small dose of her.
It's not even a small dose. Like, see here, like, she could be, as beefed up as Black Widow. That's fine. And Black Widow gets a fair amount of screen time in the MCU. She really does. Like, they utilize Scarlett Johansson to no end.
Oh, yeah. She's the holy terror in just being a threat.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I would love it if they gave her, like, a 4-episode Netflix series of, like, her and Hawkeye team up, and you just turn it into a James Bond type special.
Yeah.
Like, do it up. Why not? Go for the gold. I almost wish that Marvel would have just bit the bullet and made a Black Widow movie before we have this standard, generic, cookie-cutter rehashing of...
But I'll say this, though. I think Marvel knows that a Black Widow movie may not be able to flow into the Marvel universe.
That's why I said a Netflix show. Yeah. Because I feel like they could make a side mission work where it's her and Clint. Like, show us, what was that, Cambodia? What did she say?
No, it wasn't.
Budapest.
Budapest, yeah.
I don't know how you remember Budapest. Like,
I remember it differently. Yeah. Which could mean nothing.
Right.
I mean, like a drinking party.
It could have been.
Be hanging out at a bar the whole time.
Or it was one hell of a night. Like,
So no, I think the powers within the Marvel Studios knew how far they could take Hawkeye and Black Widow.
That makes sense.
Now, bleeding them into Netflix, yeah. I mean, you can go R-rated. You can make them as dirty as possible.
They could kick off the next run of shows. They could have Moon Knight, Punisher, and fucking Ghost Rider or Blade.
I think Blade has to happen on Netflix. Moon Knight should happen.
Definitely.
Because Moon Knight is always one of the best characters. And he's probably like the most underutilized character.
By far.
Like on all on every single level. However, this one makes him Moon Knight. Like, are you going to now disrupt the character, like disrupt who the character is, what the character represents, what he could be, what he is, by really putting him out there? But I will say this: if you can make people care about Jessica Jones, you can make people care about anything. If you can make Iron Man more of a focal point than Spider-Man,
Right.
like what the fuck? Like the fuck is happening? Like your world is upside down.
Yep.
So, what?
Iron Man got one season in the 90s. One season. Spider-Man ran for like 6 years, and he's had like 12 other shows since then.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I mean,
X-Men had an honorable 5.
yeah, I mean, you're talking about the animated series, yeah. You know, and
Because Iron Man got that 90s
yeah,
series
well,
that ran for 23 episodes.
Yeah, he got one. The Hulk got one.
Right.
Fantastic Four got one or two.
I think one.
I think they got one.
And I think that was earlier than the 90s.
No, there was a '90s Fantastic
Was
Four.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same style. You know,
Really?
which is style I completely love. Which is
yeah.
like that heavy
Oh
black.
man, my animation cell came in. It looks so good.
Yeah, the
it looks
Cyclops.
so good.
You sure sent me? How can you send me a picture of that? You
I want to frame it first. I put it away so the cats wouldn't mess it up.
I want to frame it for. You know where you go for frames on those?
No.
Go to Rite Aid near my parents.
Okay.
They have frames.
It's an awkward shape. Like
Yeah.
they have it in an 11x17 sleeve, and it sticks out like 2 inches on the
The
side.
frames I have here for mine were bought from there,
Okay.
and they right. Do you
So I have to
remember
get one for my Batman animated cell too.
You might as well just buy. They're like $11 each.
Okay.
They're snap frames, but they fit, and they're of that awkward size, and
Cool.
they come added too.
Cool.
Okay, but anyway, back to Wonder Woman.
Yes. Ugh.
I know.
Quit bringing it back here, damn it! I'm trying to get away.
Yeah. So the budget for that movie, I looked it up. It's potentially 100 to 120 million.
Okay.
Modestly budgeted.
Yes.
This is a smart budget.
Yes. To an extent.
I think
90 million would have been a smart budget.
Yeah, $9 to you would have been a smart budget.
No, 90 million. That's fair.
So where do you think it's going to hit box office?
I think. See, domestically, I'll say it'll do less than breaking even. I'll say overseas somewhere it's gonna click, and it's probably gonna bring in like Suicide Squad money.
So here's the thing though. Overseas though, like they need China. China don't like women.
They don't like Star Wars either, but that's still Rogue One's still the highest grossing movie of 2016.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. There's cultural reasons for both.
Right.
There's not a generation of people that grew up on Star Wars. They don't know what it is.
Right.
In China, so they have. So fine. The box office it got in China were people that did respond to episodes 1, 2, and 3 when they were released. So it's tough. It's not just transcendent generational movie overseas as it is in the U.S. Japan, however, loves Star Wars.
Okay.
But Ghostbusters, as we discussed, does not get released in China because of the women.
Right.
I doubt Wonder Woman will
Okay.
because of that. Right? So you're losing a huge chunk.
Potentially. those World War I or II scenes could be more the Howling Commando heavy, to where she plays prominent in modern day, but there's enough men in that China could recut the movie their own way.
They could, yeah, right.
So
it could be like something like the Chris Pine movie.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, so
you just show her in the dress trying to do the kick. How do you fight in this? You don't. You look pretty, dear.
Right.
It's so just come on.
Maybe 200 million, 225.
I say like 250.
Think it's going to really be that close to 300. 300. There's again like a handful of movies that even breach 300.
Right. It's rare, but it happens more now,
So,
especially with the price of a movie ticket.
What do you think? You think it has a chance of flopping?
I definitely.
Just
I think
not catching fire?
everything from DC has a chance of flopping at this point.
Yeah. Part of our discussion the other night.
Oh, I was actually reading that and Justice League are rumored to be train wrecks today. The link's open on my phone.
Really?
I haven't read it, but early reports are saying that Wonder Woman and Justice League are going to be...
Well, from my perspective, Wonder Woman, there's nothing interesting about that trailer.
There's no... It's
Like,
just
it's
out of place.
and
That's why
it's-
you had to send her to the 1920s to
Yeah.
make her, like,
Well,
fit.
Well, it's not even any of that. It's just kind of like they did a very poor job in setting up the character in Batman vs Superman,
Right.
where you question should she have even been in the movie if you're not going to properly introduce her. Mm-hmm. You introduce her as almost a sex object.
Right.
Just walk around in a dress.
That's my whole see, Rachel didn't, my girlfriend didn't get it when we were talking last night. I was like,
Side note, this is the first time I'm finding out that Norm has a girlfriend.
hey, yo, robot girlfriend. It doesn't matter.
I glued together a bunch of cardboard
Yeah,
boxes.
right? Have you seen South Park? Construction paper goes a long way.
Yeah, but I'm joking aside. Okay, but yeah. So what did Rachel say, or what
I lost my train of thought.
you were talking about? Her being used as a sex object.
Right. No, yeah, because she was like, well, you don't know that she's a bad actor. Like, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, but to me,
Fair, yeah.
I don't. But to me, in going the supermodel route, when there are plenty of beautiful, attractive actresses out there, you're almost telling me that you just need to stand there and look pretty, and this is going to work. That's almost how I take it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying she doesn't have acting chops, but to me, when you go outside, like, when you get a model for a movie, he's not doing much. He's the
Yeah.
quiet guy in the back.
Yeah.
Not to say that models don't break out into the industry all the
I
time,
think-
because they do. Ashton
think-
Kutcher's a main, like,
Yeah. No.
it happens. But to me, in that, I feel like I would have been a little bit more on board if they would have actually went with an actress.
Yeah, or like I just don't feel like she did anything in that movie.
No,
Like-
she literally stands there
Like, she-
and has wind blowing on her like she's on an
kind of
island.
like walking around trying to find her digital picture.
She
Like as if because it's not digital, you can't like have infinite copies of it.
every friggin' shot of her is legit like, hey, let me remind you that I made 300. Because it's the slow-mo, the hair's blowing in the wind,
Yeah.
the Greek-type music is...
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you one thing.
The score for her sounds good.
Yes, her score.
That I will
that's-
give you.
That's hotness right there,
Yes.
dude. That like
It's
drum,
that
drum beat.
300 reminiscent, like
That-
Aladdin type.
That drum beat is hot sauce.
Yes. I like the synths or whatever's
Yeah.
playing over
Well,
that.
okay.
Like, that's solid. But aside from, like, it's 300.
Yeah.
It's
So, would you be more into Wonder Woman if they just went from like Batman vs Superman and then they did another DC character movie?
Yes.
And then went into Justice League with Wonder Woman, and now like her relationship with Bruce Wayne or Ben Affleck.
beef her up in Wonder Woman and make sure the interest is there.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to wait this long for my Flash movie, which I'm honestly okay with waiting for. I'm not
Yeah,
crazy
it's
about
kind of
who
funny
they
because
got.
like people seem more geared up.
Like,
for-
I have my Flash TV show, which
Yeah.
is more than enough.
but everyone is more geared up for a Flash movie, despite already having a Flash TV show. Like no one cares. People are like, give us a Flash movie.
See, I'm good with the TV. I'm more excited for Aquaman. Has me the most pumped.
Really?
Really. I love Jason Momoa. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he didn't go with the Drax route. It'd be awesome if he did, but I get it. You're tired of playing characters that only grunt, so you're going on to like someone who's going to have maybe some Shakespearean dialogue. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how you talk under the water. But like, all right, you have James Wan.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that's probably how they're going to talk.
I doubt it. Like,
Yeah.
They probably won't say shit underwater.
I hope there's not an underwater kingdom. I hope.
Maybe
That's
not.
I just hope there's something else happening.
If there is, I could guarantee you one thing: it won't be the Gungan City. So take solace in that.
Yeah.
But either way, James Wan's already said there's going to be elements of horror. He's probably one of the best horror directors we have today. And while I'm not crazy
he's
about all of
he's
his,
the best. He's the best.
he's up there.
I don't know who else.
I'm not crazy about like modern horror's really hit or miss for me anymore.
But it always is once you fall in love with horror. Like it's always it's reciprocal, meaning that like you get something like a slasher movie and you get endless endless copies, and then you get something like a torture horror movie.
Some of the
endless Scream, endless you know, and that's the cycle. So during those phases,
2010 on has been about the ghost, the possession, which is fine. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
I don't care. Some of those scare the living shit out
Oh,
of me.
dude, I love
I pee
a
myself
good
whenever
chunk.
I watch Insidious.
Like The Conjuring, that first one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was totally taken by surprise. I went into it thinking nothing. I got the Blu-ray for $5 used.
Yeah, have you seen 2?
I did.
How was
Not
2?
not.
Okay, because the word of mouth in 2 was pretty strong.
It doesn't live up to that first one.
Well, it's hard to do, right? It's always hard.
Doing it, but when you're going from their files, it just because you're pulling them from their actual history.
Well,
like
yeah,
their paranormal files. You can't see it. I'm doing air quotes here.
Yeah,
but like. You just hit the mark so well with that first one, and you're going on to a new demon, a new design, like...
Yeah, well, I think the elements of that first one also were capable actors.
Well,
like that movie was stacked.
Yeah, you have Office Space, you have Haunting, you have...
You had a period movie, which now put the movie somewhat more realistic because...
Well, the second one's period, too. It's like a year or two after or before.
Yeah.
It's within the same realm.
Well, it would have to be, right?
1970s England. That one.
But I think that was the initial, interest for... why resonate? Because it's been a while since you would have, a legitimate...
I think the first one... What got me about the first one is the whole time, because it's always a kid. Emily Rose, The Exorcism, the Reagan, it's always a kid. Or it's the guy in jail.
Yeah.
But, that one, the whole time you're thinking, oh, the demon's going for the kid, the demon's going for the kid. And then it's the mom. And she loses her shit. It's so out of left. And, 2 is, The Exorcist. It's just so cookie cutter. That, you have the nun that pops up for 2 seconds and fades away. And it's just so...
Yeah. Well, look, here's the one thing though. Horror moves in that type of direction. Mm-hmm. But this guy still has made impactful movies, but zero budgets, and that's what I mean. He's consistent with that.
I'll give you
meaning that because horror's a lot like comedy. Like my buddy and I, we were watching That's My Boy, Adam Sandler, which I think is his best movie.
Okay.
We were literally peeing ourselves watching this movie. We're the only 2 fucking people that watch this freaking movie that love it. Okay. Comedy works a lot like horror. Mm-hmm. It when it hits, it hits.
Right.
When it doesn't hit, it kind of it becomes a cult at that point.
Right. And I have so many cult movies. I just watched 2 of them. Yeah. Oh, I thought about what I watched.
Yeah.
I watched Stay Alive, which is a solid ghost movie.
Yeah.
I love Frankie Muniz in that.
Yeah.
Just the dude from It's Always Sunny's in that. One of the McDougal brothers.
You can't laugh without just thinking about those guys.
That sister, man.
Yeah, she's so weird. And then
Mac always wants her.
Well, I thought Mac.
Or no, it's Dennis. Dennis always ends up sleeping with her.
What was the second movie?
The Stuff.
Yes, I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's so like they live like
Yeah.
propaganda. You eat this, it's
Yeah,
addictive, it's
but
good for you,
I'll tell
and
you-
it just like
Yeah.
melts you from the inside. Oh, it's
here's
so good.
the cool thing with the stuff, though.
It's like the Blob meets They Live.
Yeah,
to
or
an
like,
extent.
or possibly, right? Here we go. Halloween 3,
Okay.
right? Mm-hmm. Of that video drone,
Right.
David Cronenberg.
Okay.
Okay, where it's kind of like TV and marketing is bad and evil. Mm-hmm. And that's what people thought back. You know,
Yep.
like that was like the
Oh, I don't eat this stuff.
That was a reverb
Mm-hmm.
from the hippie generation that thought that this corporate level like
I
corporate
lied.
level pushes in marketing were dubious.
It's not the Blob. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers
Okay.
meets They Live.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So the stuff for me, I remember the first time I watched that, I got like a sense of anxiety watching that movie, like nervousness, because it is that type of like running away from something, like impending
You don't know
danger,
who's eating it,
impending
how
doom.
deep they are into it.
Yeah,
Are you
it's-
talking to someone who's going to help you or force feed you this alien byproduct?
Why can't we just update that? Why-
It doesn't
just
need to be.
But you can.
You know what the update for that is? The 2K transfer Blu-ray with all the specs and behind the scenes, like
so it blows up appropriately on your big TV.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it looks clean.
I
I got the standard old school DVD attitudes. Like I got lucky finding it, but now I wish I had
you know
shelled
what,
out the 20 for
I am
the
with you on
Blu-ray.
that because I'm watching John Wick, and the entire time I'm watching John Wick, I'm thinking, where is there a sequel in this? Mm-hmm. Like I know the new one's John Wick Chapter 2,
Right.
but I'm like, where else can you get? Like he's on this revenge thing, previously retired. Mm-hmm. Like he's had this like I guess amazing.
Well, do you want to know? I'm kind of
no.
privy to the information.
no, because I'm probably gonna finish it when you leave.
Oh, you haven't seen this yet?
No,
Oh,
I'm watching it for the first time.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, you know about the dog, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a little bit of what I was getting at too, where like the John Wick character has this plot device which is the dog, and people knock Michael Bay and they knock Roland Emmerich for using dogs to gain audience to
Sympathy.
yeah, like they say it's a cheap trick, and then like everyone's fine when it happens in John Wick, right?
Well, what does Robin Emmerich kill?
No,
Dog-wise.
he saves his dog in
In Independence Day, okay.
In Armageddon, there's the meteor that hits, and the guy's got to save his dog when the meteor hits New York City.
Okay.
Like, someone call 911, and he's holding his dog by the leash. Okay? So, like, it's
See, for me, it's when they kill the dog. That's the cheap trick.
well,
I'm good with you slaughtering 20 teens that are fornicating and smoking weed, but the minute you hurt that cute little pooch, you deserve to
that
die.
dog was boss, though. That dog was so boss. Can you do me a favor?
What do you need?
Bring over my monster and that Tito's vodka, please.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I got into what I was drinking. I'm drinking a iced tea Monster Energy with Tito's vodka. Cause that sounded kind of cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess like based on our intro, our whole contention is that there's very little they can do to hype the audience up for Blade Runner.
Right.
There's very little they can do to hype the audience up for Wonder Woman.
Well, on a side note, I just want to say the last reason that I'm thoroughly excited for Aquaman,
Oh yes,
someone sold me on the character. You have all the robot DC.
is this your boss?
Yes.
What's his name?
Matt.
Matt. What's how old is Matt?
He's like your age, maybe a little younger.
So he's
maybe.
22.
Hey, yo.
he's in his mid 20s.
Did your nose just grow an inch there?
No, it's something else. Did.
Hey.
Get.
Someone call for help.
So, what's his name again? I'm sorry.
Matt.
So Matt is what's his background? He's
He's a big
Mostly
dork.
DC, mostly Marvel.
Just a comic book guy in general.
Just likes
Did a lot of drawing back in high
Yeah,
school,
you
all that
mentioned
good
that,
stuff.
yeah.
Like,
So,
you know,
and he's just kind
a
of
big movie buff in general.
okay.
Like he could tell you anything about a western or samurai movie, like
What
very
is-
broad strokes.
Yeah, what does he seem to be drawn towards?
Definitely martial arts films, action films,
Okay.
cheesy 80 action
Yeah,
movies are
okay.
his forte.
Like Cobra.
Yes, or over the top, friggin' Commando, like just and any kung fu movie that you could think of.
Okay.
Like,
All right, I like this guy.
so
So how did Matt break down the character?
pretty much in some run, at one point they actually gave Aquaman, like, he has the ability to control water. Well, in this
Yes.
particular run, like, if you pissed him off, like, he could suck all of the water out of your body
Yes.
and pretty much turn you into, like, when I heard that, it was like, oh shit, because that was after all of the Robot DC stuff.
Yeah, that's
After the Super Friends, where it's, I need your
yeah.
help.
You're speaking of the Peter David run.
Okay, thank you.
So this character, and here's the thing.
And what Jeff Jones has done for him in more recent years, pretty much turning that story into an underwater Game of Thrones, where
Yeah.
it's all family ties and backstabbing and
But I'll tell you one thing.
a fight for the throne.
The Aquaman character always was that. The Aquaman was probably the most family grounded DC character
Okay.
that they had. Like his whole beef with Black Mantis is over the death of his son.
Right.
Okay.
Well, even
Like-
one of the animated, I think it's
What, Young Justice maybe?
no, it's one of the animated movies they just came out with. But I'm pretty
okay.
sure he ends up losing his hand, saving his son, and that's how he gets the trident hand.
Okay,
Like they go
well-
that route with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and then one time
I think it's after Flashpoint
at one
and
time
Justice League War.
his
Sorry.
hand became liquid water.
Oh, I
was able-
remember
he was
that.
able to
That was
form.
in like a cartoon or something.
Yeah, and I
saw.
thought that was like boss.
Like he just held it there and worked it.
Yeah, I
Yep.
thought that was awesome.
Like a phantom limb.
Yeah, but so, back in the 90s, you had. We'll need digging to verify this tangent thread I'm about to go on.
Okay.
I'm just going off of memory
Fair enough.
and vodka and just having a day,
Hey.
right? So I don't know. Maybe my cognitive function is my neural channels aren't functioning properly.
They're
but-
misfiring a little
Yeah.
bit.
But you had Rob Liefeld, co-creator of Deadpool, co-creator of X-Force,
Okay.
break off of Marvel. He creates a comic book called Youngblood. He had to go through a couple of titles because Marvel was like, "The fuck are you doing? You can't do this." Blah 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 blah. He settles on Youngblood, comes out with Youngblood. There's a character called Riptide.
Okay.
A Youngblood away team, not the home team,
Okay.
and Riptide could suck the moisture out of the air and create waves and suck the moisture from your brow and do things with it. Now, as far as I understand, that was the first use of this type of moisture within a water-powered character.
Okay.
Later to be adopted and perfected by Peter David in his Aquaman run, which were somewhat congruent at this time.
Okay.
Peter David's Aquaman run and Jeff Johns are the only two references you have
Yes.
for
Solid Aquaman.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
that's all you need. Like that power alone. Think about while Batman's blasting people, you just have Aquaman squeezing his hands and people just drying up, turning into mummies.
Well, yeah,
like that's so badass.
Okay, so here is the
You don't need to talk to fish at that point.
Yeah,
You're just a mass murderer.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. I'm with you on.
If they do the right Aquaman, this could be a great
Well,
movie.
I'll tell you one thing though too. If you look at the history of it, audiences are normally drawn towards water movies.
Okay.
They're fascinated with water. I mean, it's endless. The hits, like movies that were supposed to fail have been successful because
Waterworld.
yeah. Well, yeah, Waterworld.
That's a cult. I like it.
But Waterworld did make money.
You know what I do with that movie? I actually pair that with Escape from New York. because they're both just future apocalyptic. One's completely dry and ashy, and one's totally drowned out.
Yeah.
Like, screw Escape from L.A.
Right.
I watch Waterworld and Escape from New York as my double feature.
I want to look up Waterworld real quick because I think it's a little bit of a myth of the
failure of that.
Yeah, I mean the movie.
I mean, it always comes with the criticism of, oh, Costner did Waterworld. Like, shut up, it's a good movie.
It was made. I think it's a great movie.
It is.
It was made in '95.
Dennis Hopper kills it. I love that losing his eye, and that it's so good.
The budget was $175, which was enormous for this. Might have been the highest ever for that time.
I believe it. It's all open water.
Yeah, the movie was directed by Kevin Reynolds, who directed the Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Okay.
Okay. Huge hit. Kevin Reynolds at that point had a string of hits and like well done movies.
All right, we got to drink to Alan Rickman. From now on, when we talk about a dead celebrities movie, we drink.
Oh, he's so good at that. I will carve your heart out with a spoon. And he's like, why would you do a spoon? 'Cause it's gonna hurt. Like, it would be any different than like a knife. He's like, dude, I love it too. Like when they introduce his character, he's like, almost like he has like girls in his room that he's like just keeping as like sex slaves. He's like so messed up and dirty in that movie. I love it.
I love the Jerry curl. Mm-hmm. I'll never get past the Jerry curl
and they
mullet.
got that weird witch girl in that movie. That's such a great movie.
Latrine. It all goes back to Men in Tights. That whole.
So
well, it used to be Shitbox, but we changed it. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that movie.
So here
I need to watch Men in Tights tonight.
I love Men in Tights.
That's what I'm saying.
We're on the East Bank. We're on the West
Unlike
Bank.
other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
It ain't the motherfucking Mississippi.
This ain't the Mississippi. A toll's a toll, and a roll's a roll. And if we don't get no tolls, then we don't eat no rolls.
So, Waterworld, I remember this very clearly.
Wait, we can't skip Blinken.
Oh, Blinken.
What are you doing up there? Yeah. Listening? Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you know what the best part is? When they find him, and he's like on the crapper. Did you ever notice he has a braille paper?
Yeah,
and he's like touching. It's like the best.
You've lost your arms, sir, but you've grown some really nice tits. Oh man, this is getting me on a Mel Brooks kick. We gotta stop. I'm gonna transition to Blazing Saddles, and then we'll get in trouble.
So real quick though. So, you have Fury Road on Waterworld. Mm-hmm. 175 budget. The movie, astronomically over budget. It gets labeled as like the worst disaster of all time.
Right.
175 million. Mm-hmm. Box office 264.2.
Hey, it made money. I know John Carter should take that title now.
264.2. Okay, so that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't this huge smash, but did it deserve what it got?
No, not at all.
I think the movie is, it's a feat. Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a movie.
Oh yeah, that's all open water.
Yeah,
that's not easy.
And I'll tell you right now, like the idea of a full on balls to the wall Aquaman movie. That's even dark. Mm-hmm. For some reason, that character, I want dark.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because he's been so fruity for the last 60 years.
I am more into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
And knowing that...
I would even be extremely pumped for the Cyborg movie if they would just say, like, it's going to be like RoboCop.
Have you seen his design?
I think it looks too CGI.
It looks horrible.
It doesn't.
It's too glossy. He's dented.
Yeah.
Is
he dented? I didn't notice dents. I noticed the shine.
Yeah,
I just noticed the fakeness in the chest and the face.
There's a origami, like folded paper aspect to his armament.
I could give you that.
Which is weird.
It's triangular and boxy.
It's weird. Yeah.
It has weird shape.
Do I think he should be bigger?
Well, it's even the Flash suit. Like, what's with all the metal and shit?
Well, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with everything with the Flash suit. like whatever. But like, what can we get logo? Like in that picture, no one has a logo. Can we like just put the logo?
You know what I noticed about that
like,
picture?
aren't they? Because Batman doesn't even have a chest logo.
I didn't notice that. You know what I did notice?
I'll bring it
it's
up.
the friggin' silver costume from like Batman and Robin. Like he's decked out in a costume that just totally sends me back to that movie.
It does kind
He's
of.
got the silver, and like I'm not getting armored Batman. I'm getting fancy Batman.
Yeah,
Batgirl should be there with Nightwing.
I'm trying to.
Where are the telescope people falling
There
at?
you go. Look, I got the picture right here. You tell me if you see a logo in that picture.
See this? No, the bat's covered with silver.
Right?
I guess I kind of see a little lightning bolt on Flash,
but-
but it's almost like a necklace medallion.
Right. Why can't that? Like, why can't?
And Wonder Woman has her belt. That's right there.
Yeah.
That one's solid.
She's the only one.
And I mean, does Aquaman even really have one aside from
Well,
his trident?
he normally has
The A
like an
belt
A, yeah.
buckle, I guess you could say.
But even like the Flash has nothing, and even the Wonder Woman's, it's like almost like
You know what my problem with that
oddly,
picture is?
it's like understated.
Superman's not in it, and we already know he's not dead. Get the whole cast together. Just do it.
I'll tell you one thing: Superman's gonna be evil. He's gonna be controlled by Darkseid.
Probably.
That's the only.
Because they already said there's going to be Batman versus Superman round 2 in this first movie.
Did they
I
really?
heard that, yeah. There's going to be a round 2.
It's exciting.
The first round wasn't exciting,
No, it really wasn't.
but this second round's going to be.
Have you seen the Dark Knight animated movie?
Which one?
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes,
The adaptation.
both parts.
Okay. The Superman versus Batman fight in that is like so much longer and better than the movie.
By far.
Yeah.
The only problem I have
You know?
with those movies
And I'm just kind of
is
like,
all of the inner monologues going from Batman, and that's some of my
Yeah.
best parts.
Well,
but they work in the line.
they do.
This is my operating table.
They do.
Crunch, and I'm
Yeah.
the surgeon. Crunch.
Yeah.
But like he goes in there with real bullets because he knows he needs them for that fight.
Yeah.
And in the cartoon, it's the rubber bullets, and they only die when they kill themselves with the grenade. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that Batman went into that fight.
Yeah.
I need to break the leader, and if these guys don't fall, I have to take them out because they're too dangerous. Like
Yeah.
that's when he finally breaks that rule of
Yeah. But
No
that's
killing.
yeah, and that's but
I shall return.
okay. Norm is going back to round 2 for the
It's that damn duff.
for the bathroom. I'm going to start to wrap this up.
Plug the duff.
Yeah, plug the Duff. Norm drank all of his Duff energy drink. So, yeah, I think we're going to start to wrap this up. The intention today was to do a little bit of a quicker recording, to do somewhat of a focused recording because we're still learning, still trying to get better at this. Doing Dream Warriors on short notice is a long-standing goal of mine to do Dream Warriors on short notice and have it be a good product. And you only get good with doing this stuff with repeated attempts and just kind of getting those 10,000, 20,000 hours in as much as possible. But, just remember, you can always reach out to me on Twitter, AKAPAD, Instagram, AKAPAD13, AKAPAD.com, Peter A. DeLuca on Facebook. And, I'm wrapping this up.
Right
Did you want to just sit down and have any final Wonder Woman thoughts?
Yeah. Why? I just got rid of all of that. I was feeling light and clear.
So let's. I think Wonder Woman has a huge chance of not succeeding.
I second that wholeheartedly.
Okay. By not succeeding, I mean not breaking 200 million. Mm-hmm. If it comes under 200 million, regardless of like money from Suicide Squad and money from Batman vs Superman, people will ignore the money and the DC brand. It's like what DC represents within the cinematic universe is going to die.
Yeah,
It's going to
it's all riding on these next two. Definitely.
It's got to be riding on Wonder Woman.
I feel like they filmed too much of this. It's not like George Miller's where it only got so like there's
You know what?
beyond a lot of work done on this one.
Right now. Mm-hmm. You know what would get me excited for a Wonder Woman movie?
What's that?
If the Jared Leto Joker was in it.
I kind of agree. Dude,
but wouldn't that be awesome if that was like the villain?
I'll just be happy if they use him for anything after all the shit he talked.
like you kind of put like a Batman villain versus Wonder Woman, and you make this guy.
Well, you know who the villain is, right?
Eris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is okay.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Why do women always have to beat men up? Why can't it be a woman versus a woman?
I would like that.
Like, why can't she go head to head with the leader of the Amazonians to try and free her people of these strict, stringent...
Or she's also connected to gods. And you can do anything. Mm-hmm. Anything. Mm-hmm. You don't even need Eris. I mean, Eris is a significant...
They should have went Hera and just totally shit on their mythos.
Yes. Well,
Hera's gone mad with power. That's why men have to be drowned in the river in Amazon.
Eris is a part of her best comic book arc.
Okay.
Which is the George Perez arc, post-crisis in the 80s.
Okay.
I think that was a 7-issue arc. And then you had to wait until the modern day New 52 to get your next best arc.
I believe it.
Okay. And that's where they further deconstructed the character, but grounded the character.
Well, that's when she started hooking up with Superman official.
Yeah, well, which is great, you know. But the thing is, though, the New 52 Wonder Woman is actually the most definitive, the best version for adaptation of Wonder Woman.
I believe it.
Okay, and I would love if they referenced more of that because they connected her to the new gods, the Jack Kirby verse, rather than Greek mythology.
Okay.
And new gods are connected to Darkseid and Apocalypse, and they link it all together, and they do this cool stuff where they like bang men, like they
for
bang,
their seed, right?
They bang them, get pregnant, and they kill the men.
I was just gonna say they drown the men in the
awesome,
river,
dude.
Like,
it's so freaking savage.
I knew that there was a story for that. I wasn't sure if it was
So
new or
savage.
old, but
So-
that's the Wonder Woman that would get me excited.
Yeah.
Like if we have a male, we throw him in the goddamn river. Mm-hmm. Only women.
Yeah.
Sailors come in, we screw them, they leave.
I just really feel like if DC goes dark, just go dark.
Yeah.
Like go dark, but then again, if that's what you want, you have.
Well,
to,
the problem is they can't commit to. That's what the whole Suicide Squad was reshot because it was too dark.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman was way too dark. Suicide Squad.
I watched,
the movie about villains needs to be smiley, but the movie about heroes can.
I watch Suicide Squad a lot.
I believe it.
There's so much genius in that movie.
I like it. It's a comic book Expendables. I will stand by it.
But at the same time,
I don't watch it because it's a great movie.
But I stopped watching it to a certain point.
It's eye candy.
Like as soon as this chopper goes down with the Joker, and that bar scene's done, it's like okay.
I believe it.
Like yeah, or like
time to get to work.
Yeah, it's kind of like all right, like it really is a 1-hour movie, in my eyes. But man, does it click! It clicks and it moves, and they do set everything up. Mm-hmm. I think that, believe it or not, I think the Diablo character is the worst character.
Definitely, he's underutilized. Really the fire demon, really,
well,
and you save it for the last two goddamn minutes.
I think they set him up poorly. Like the dude has tattoos on his face, and the wife is like upset that he's a gangster. Like what type? Or he wants to have a life. Like a normal life, but you're a gangster with tattoos on you, and you have a couch in your driveway, like on your lawn, you have a couch. like it doesn't add up that he's like this butthurt dude that doesn't want to use his powers.
Well, he doesn't want to use his powers anymore after he accidentally kills his wife and daughter. No,
he uses them in the prison riot, and they have the video of it. There's a prison riot.
I thought that was a setup to get him there.
No, I don't know, but regardless of what it was, he used it to kill his friends, like his gang members and the other gang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's when he I don't know.
But that's what I mean.
I
like, it's just weird. It's just weird. But
okay.
but
I thought that was explained, but I could be wrong.
No,
you've seen a lot of hell of a more.
Yeah, but the thing is though, even the way that they set that up,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, we have footage of him using his powers, and it's spectacular. And then it's just him walking on screen, like, just, yeah, it's like, so, like, just you.
Everything she says is like in that frame of like, this is the most dangerous woman, and no, she got a baseball bat. You could shoot that bitch in the head. The baseball bat's not gonna stop it.
Yeah, they needed a different end game, like a different continuation of the mission, or they had a good mission, but they didn't have a good way of ending that movie in the final conflict.
Right.
But at that point, though, like you are on board with everyone, even Diablo, even Killer Croc, Katana, like hardly used, but
Fucking Captain Boomerang's my dude.
why can't he just like
Look, he grabs all the beer and runs out, and he carries around the unicorn Deadpool style, which he was doing before Deadpool. Like,
he needs a movie. He needs something. That
well, hopefully he'll pop up in the Flash movie.
Or not even a movie. He needs to be in more of the, like, I would love it if, like, he's in the Batman movie. Like, I would, like,
put him in the Harley Quinn flick.
Yeah,
Have him have 15 minutes of like, I remember you.
Yeah.
You want to go get a drink?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
I brought my unicorn.
With the unicorn.
Yeah. But no. Let's sign off here.
Sounds good.
We'll
be back.
We don't have any more thoughts on DC wasting their money and
Just reboot,
Warner,
guys.
and Warner wasting
Start
money
over
on
and
Blade
don't
Runner,
rush.
on Blade Runner.
Just don't rush.
Well, would you be okay with
Plan it out.
Are you Scanners? Have you seen Scanners?
The Head Explode movie?
Yes.
It has been years. Like, I probably saw it when I was 5 or 6, and I haven't
jeez.
seen it since.
I was gonna say, would you be more happy if that got remade rather than Blade Runner or updated?
Maybe.
No.
I have to rewatch it.
Would you be open to like another RoboCop reboot? Like if they were like, hey, let's just go back to like
if they went the dread route with it. If they went gritty,
bloody, low budget.
Yes.
Hard R.
The way the first one was done.
I think people would be accepting of that.
Yes.
It seems like that's what they're doing with the new Alien too. They're going back to hard R, back to horror. Like
it already sounds hard. Do you know what's going on in that movie?
Yeah.
Like,
well, tell me what you're referencing now.
Well, like, all right. So this crew the Covenant movie. This crew lands on a planet that's been mutated, almost Stranger Things style, with the black goo.
Okay.
And like pretty much where a face hugger would get you in the face and the chest burster would gestate, like. There's spores, so when the wind blows, you might breathe in 3 spores.
Right.
Well, now, like, one might pop out of your neck, one might pop out of your chest, and one might pop out of your stomach. Like, you breathe them in and they gestate. And it's so, like, some of the rumors are people are going to have massive boils and, like, 4 or 5 aliens coming out of the neck. Like, it's all about, like, just kind of where it stops in your body. And that's where it'll it's these new...
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, they're making a stylized horror movie, right? Maybe a little bit of a gore monster fest.
I'm excited to see James Franco die, and I'm excited to see Danny McBride take on like a dramatic.
He has
role.
a cowboy hat in that movie.
Well, I mean, Idris Elba should have had a cowboy hat in the first one because he's so like.
I'm so upset that he died.
So am I. He dies in everything. Don't get me started on fucking Pacific Rim, because that's the most wasted, pointless goddamn death, and it's pointless because the sequel is a sequel and not a prequel.
Yeah,
damn it.
He's dying in the whole movie.
I know he's dying because his Jaeger irradiated radiation.
I mean, like
it makes sense.
They set up
like,
that he was able to sacrifice himself.
Right, but the kid wasn't dying. God damn it! Now his dad's stuck with his dog.
His dad's stuck with his dog. That's a great dog.
Poor dog. Damn it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a slap. But these two go in the hole and come back. I don't remember. The movie's garbage. I try to avoid it.
I think that's one of the better movies. That's one of my go-tos. All right, and that's it. That's Green Warriors is going to end with the margin.
Hey, going into this nightmare.
Yeah, while we sign off.
Yes. Fight Club style, but we can't talk about it.